you know.
There's definitely some labor of love, I think.
I think that ties really good into, in a similar way to my observe and report kind of feelings of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not, you know what I'm
Lending
saying.
to that thematical, thematically driving the movie. Yeah.
Well, what was the biggest song off that whole record?
Big Empty.
Yep.
By Stone Temple Pilots.
So you think that was their sophomore effort on their record anyway.
Right.
But yet that was a song that was on a soundtrack, and it made that soundtrack what it was.
Well, and originally,
originally,
if I'm remembering correctly, it was a little different until after some of these was a little different.
Like they re-recorded them?
Yes. For that song specifically, it was after Brandon Lee died.
Oh.
So there was some tonal shifts in it.
Oh, okay. All right.
We might have to talk about that more.
Yeah, honestly, this is one I could do an entire podcast.
Yeah, we could.
But obviously, look at my top three. You kind of know what time I got that imprint for the music that I loved. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, totally. I mean, that soundtrack was just one that, you would look at everybody's tape collection or CD collection. And there was that and Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Beavis and Butthead Do America.
No, not the Do America.
No, the regular.
Yeah,
Beavis and
it's
Butthead.
just a regular TV show one.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everybody had that one
for sure.
That one had a couple of one-off songs on it too, which were really cool.
Right.
No, there was just a lot of great songs on that. And then I can always, what is that one song? Sometimes it rains inside my hair. What is when they come into the club the first time?
Oh yeah.
And they're in that.
Sing it some more.
No. It was a horrible impression.
That's why I was like, "What? What happened?"
God, that was horrible.
I like I like the villain in The Crow, Michael Wilcott. I think
Wilcott, he was also the sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood with Kevin Costner.
Oh, nice. He was in Alien Resurrection, is where I remember him
as well.
from.
Yeah,
he's Elgin is his name in that movie.
Well, whenever they're doing the big gun battle scene, and they're using that song effectively throughout the whole everything. Even the first part wherever they have the Cure song on it and they're kind of going through the streets and everything like that, it creates that.
It's a great opening for not only for a movie but for an album.
Yes.
You know, it takes you. It's like you're traveling this journey. You're about to take this journey.
Yeah, you're in.
I like how that movie looks.
Spot. Yeah,
we'll have to talk about The Crow more again.
Yeah,
maybe in an upcoming podcast.
Maybe
about comic book movies.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Allusions to the future.
Yeah, Charlie.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
Okay, Brock, what's your number one, sir?
My number one is Wayne's World.
Oh, nice.
I fucking love that soundtrack. That movie.
The Wayne's World 1, correct?
Yes. Okay. The movie and the soundtrack changed my perspective on the entire world. It did. Whenever I first heard Foxy Lady on that one, I was like, there's a whole new world. Fuck you, Paula Abdul.
Whole new world.
And I changed overnight whenever that soundtrack came out.
Nice.
Foxy Lady.
And whenever I watched it, because I went and saw it in the theaters and just was like, oh my God, everything on this is cool. Dreamweaver, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yep.
I remember my dad was so proud of me for liking Queen, you know, because my dad was a big yacht rock fan.
I gotcha.
So it was a lot of Dr. Hook, friend of the show.
Yeah, Dr.
Love Dr. Hook myself.
Yeah.
I like everything that he played, you know, but I remember him even telling somebody at his work, and this is weird that I remember this, that I knew all the words to Bohemian Rhapsody, which I did. Everybody did.
Yeah, that was...
Come on, that was just like fucking amazing. And then even Wayne Campbell fought the movie studios to get that in the movie.
It's true, right?
And they showed it to Freddie Mercury before he died, like a week before he died. Mm-hmm. He actually got to see it in the movie. So it was a new generation of Queen fans.
Right.
They kind of came into the fold on that one. But then you have...
I'd say that really sparked a regeneration for Queen.
Classic rock.
Yeah.
Well, and then you're in like kind of that Seattle kind of... Well, not that they're in Illinois, but you're in that time period of like the Nirvanas, the Pearl Jams and stuff. So this is...
It was at the end. It was... I would say this is a good transitional period
from
for
like the late 80s.
Cock rock.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Whitesnake cock rock shit.
So you're showing...
ballads to fucking grunge music.
Yeah, you're showing the younger generation, look, Queen rocks. You know what I mean? You need to listen to this. And what's the other one? Sweet?
Yeah.
Sweet? The band Sweet?
Oh, yeah. Are they on this one?
Ballroom Rock.
No, Ballroom Blitz. Yeah.
Ballroom Blitz.
Well, yeah.
Ballroom
Come on, the
Blitz.
Tia Carrere version was pretty good too. Why You Want to Break My Heart? Eric Clapton was on it. Shit. Fucking Feed My Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
Alice Cooper. That was actually like when that came out. I was probably about 2 years deep into like Alice Cooper's back catalog.
Nice.
Back to
No way,
the 60s.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I like
pretty interesting
Well,
stuff.
Sabbath was on it.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I had already been down that Sabbath road by that time.
I like Billion
Yeah.
Dollar Babies. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Rotten Little Monsters, baby, I adore you.
I still hadn't grasped onto Sabbath like I have.
After this.
After this, but it was on there, and it was one of Sabbath's later iterations. It wasn't
Right.
the Ozzy years.
Yeah, so that doesn't count as Sabbath.
Yeah, not really. but
At least for me, that's not the Sabbath I listen to.
Is it Ronnie James Dio in it? Is that who it is?
I don't even remember, man. I that was one of those that you're probably just like, whoa, that was a good song too.
Holy Diver.
You've been lost out at sea just a little too long.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Fucking, there's a lot of people on that record. I mean, it was very, very like, I don't know. It very well shaped my my teenage years.
I could see how it could open you up to a whole of quite a few different bands, which would get you into different genres of music.
Right.
too.
Spread further.
So-
yeah.
And then
for
the movie itself was like, oh my god, fucking Wayne's World. Wayne's World is fucking awesome.
yeah.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say, pardon, sir, do you have any gray poupon?
So many great parts in the movie, and it was all
Absolutely.
intertwined with the music and the way that they built it with it. I mean, he was a musician in it.
Yeah.
What does he say?
Sorta.
He's like, little, smaller, different.
Yeah, we're not the ones to bow to corporate sponsorship. It's like people only do things for money.
Little, yellow,
He's like,
different,
wait,
better.
I'm having a headache.
And the Pepsi.
Yeah, it's a choice of a new generation.
My other favorite part is, who's playing tonight? Shitty Beatles.
Yeah.
Are they any good? No.
So it's not just a clever
So
name.
it's not just a clever name.
Crucial Taunt.
Isn't like a real band playing in there though? Like
Yeah, Crucial Taunt.
I thought it was Cannibal Corpse.
No, you're thinking of Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ace Ventura had Cannibal Corpse in
Okay,
it.
my bad.
But yeah, no, the whole thing was just like completely 100% like just awesome. And I always put this will be not interchangeable in my ever.
Fair.
It'll always be there, my number one for it. So
It's a good one.
That's awesome. I think what we've learned here today, guys, is that soundtracks are really important parts of people's lives, and mostly cinephiles. People who like movies are going to gravitate, and music are going to gravitate towards music from movies. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool.
Well, and before we go too far, is there any other honorable mentions that anybody wanted to
I'm
mention?
going to throw out some more.
I knew there was some.
Yeah.
I know I've got a couple of.
I kind of threw out all mine already.
Like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
That's a great one.
But see, again, that's kind of in the Scott Pilgrim vein, where it's a kind of a musical the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, even Billy Bob Thornton later on, like, got together all the real musicians that did this stuff, and they went out on tour.
Nice.
He didn't play, but he was just in the front row watching, the singers and everything like that. It was pretty cool. It was on PBS at one point.
Tim Blake Nelson, Watchmen.
I'm going to
Yeah.
throw out Coneheads. Conehound soundtrack is
It's a really good one
That's a good one,
too,
too.
because it had one of the best Red Hot Chili Peppers songs
Soul to
ever.
Squeeze.
Yeah.
And then remember
It had a
when
lot on it, actually. There's a lot of diverse music on that one.
remember when he rips the car open? Thank you, sir.
Dazed and Confused.
Absolutely a great
That's a
album.
good one.
That was a good one, man.
Definitely,
Classic,
that's kind of a capsule of that time,
Yeah.
Again,
it was
that-
really cool to see that.
Another low hanging fruit, though. I think
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
too
yeah.
easy to pick.
That's why I
that
didn't
one.
choose
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, these were either honorable mention. That's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I Married an Axe Murderer.
I don't
pretty
know
good
that
one,
I
too.
know that soundtrack.
Yeah,
to be
there's a lot
honest
of good
with you.
ones on there.
American Axe Murderer.
Repo
So
Man.
I Married an Axe Murderer.
Oh, So I Married an Axe Murderer. Yeah, that's a great movie. That's a great one.
I know it's a great movie. I haven't.
Maximum Overdrive is always one of my.
The whole soundtrack is by AC/DC.
Wasn't that a lot of AC/DC?
Yeah, it's all AC/DC. I could listen to it over and over again. The
Flash.
Batman soundtrack. Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump was a 2-disc soundtrack.
Yeah, so
which
that
was bitchin'.
actually kind of almost made, because it covers a lot of music, but it's 34 tracks, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that can't count.
Nah.
Because anybody can have a great soundtrack if I just take all these great songs and just put them on an
Put 'em
album.
all
Yeah,
together.
isn't there a bunch
And I
of
know they
Dylan-
kind of told him, his story through the time, which was cool.
So you get different eras of time periods of music.
Yeah, but so that's why that one didn't make my list. So I was like, that's just too much.
Yeah.
But it was great. I remember everybody owned that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that double CD everywhere.
No. Fast Times, Ridgemont High.
It's a good one.
Footloose is on my list because it was in everybody's house. It was like Frampton Comes Alive, Four Wings World. Everybody in the Midwest got it with samples of Tide. You know what I mean?
Shit. So I'm gonna say that I may have to get this. Nope, can't. That's why I've never owned this album. Well, I was gonna say I was gonna buy this So I Married an Axe Murderer album just because I was looking through it. I'm like, okay, it's got the Boo Radleys. Toad the Wet Sprocket, Soul Asylum, Big Audio Dynamite, little Mike Myers in there doing his poem. And then I spin down to the Spin Doctors, the Prince, and that's what, Two Princes, and that's why I'll never own this album because I hate that fucking song.
So, what's that? How does that one go again?
I'm not ever fucking talking about it.
Is it Little Miss Carrie?
No, that's the same band.
Yeah.
Different song.
There's another one.
No, my version of Hell, that song's playing. I promise you. The Two Princes song. I hate it so much.
That's one of my wife's favorite soundtracks because of the Lemonhead song on there.
I could see that.
She really liked that
and then,
one.
well, like I said, it all looks good, and then I get to that, and unless I could scratch out that song, I'll never buy this album.
Yeah.
So
I want to watch that movie again, though. He's like,
yeah, it's a great movie.
or what is he like? Boring or love you? I can't remember his poem.
Whoa, man.
Yeah, whoa, man. Whoa, man.
I put Jackie Brown kind of on an honorable mention.
Yeah.
I liked all the songs that were on that one. Back to the Future had one good song on it.
Chuck Berry?
No.
And that's the power of
That's
love.
right. I wanted to cover that song in one of my bands one time, and they were like,
Well, you don't need money.
vetoed.
You don't need money.
Don't need fame.
You don't need no credit card to ride this train.
So, I mean, Drive was on my list, but then I went to the orchestral ones. But before that, Grosse Point Blank.
Ooh,
that's a good one. That's actually
That one was like made by Joe Strummer too.
So I just watched that like 2 weeks ago.
It was on,
Yeah, I love that movie. My
Every
wife
time-
knows that's like one of my top 5 movies of all time.
Really?
Every
Yeah.
time it comes on, I'm like, "Hey, Amy, have you seen this one?" And she's like, you ask me that every time." I'm like, "Let's watch it."
Another John Cusack movie would be High Fidelity. It has a good soundtrack too.
Yeah,
But that's kind of all about music. So
yeah.
That's why I was like,
But it was a pretty good,
not low
pretty good
enough.
one though. That had a Black Jack original on it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
If, what was it? Tenacious D though?
I don't know that it was Tenacious D, but I know that he did a song on it. I think it was a Tenacious. It ended up being a Tenacious D song if they weren't,
Probably.
because I can't remember which song it is now.
Yeah, I can't.
It's gonna
either,
blow
but
my brain.
It's a good soundtrack.
Well, then I went orchestral with it too, which I mean, soundtrack's a soundtrack.
Sure, I mean,
if you could
like,
listen to
there's-
the music,
Well,
if you like the
afterwards,
score,
I
that's
think
fine.
there's a difference between a soundtrack and a score, kind of.
Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of what we stuck with on the thing.
Yeah.
But if you have some orchestral recommendations, that's fine.
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood. Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead does that.
Star Wars,
Okay.
Blade Runner, Cape Fear, Halloween, Conan the Barbarian, The Untouchables,
Okay.
and then Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy.
Yeah, 2001 is I think one of the definitive scores.
And
besides Star
2000.
Wars.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
it's on there. But shit, there's just so many good
That's
ones. out
one of
there.
those ones where you see the image and you can't really get the blue Dan or whatever it's called.
Blue Danube.
That was pretty good. Yeah, out of your head when
thought
you're
so.
watching. You can't get the spaceship out of your head when you're watching that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's another one where music influenced writing.
No.
Yeah.
So whenever he was sitting down to write that, he already had that. And Kubrick is a big example on music and writing.
He would use classical pieces to put into Barry Lyndon is a good example of that. But I would again be remiss if I didn't mention The Simpsons, where he's like, "Look what I snuck aboard." Homer, no, careful, they're ruffled.
I would say Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What's the Angelo or something was her name? It was like the Windio or something. They did the score for that, and a lot of the tracks were cut.
I can't remember her last name.
I think it starts with a W.
His last name, right?
I think it's a she, but I used to watch that movie a lot.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
So we want to run down our 5 as a wrap up.
Sure, let's
Tyson?
5. Well, how about I just run down everyone's?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So as far as soundtracks go, here we got Dan, Brock, and Tyson. Top 5, Drive by Tyson. Easy Rider by Dan. Natural Born Killers for Brock. And our 4th ones are going to be Batman Forever for Tyson, Reservoir Dogs for Dan, and Above the Rim